Let's see who's there. Oh, there's already people there. Hey, Penny. Hey, Anita. Hey, oh, Marie. Now I get it. Still hanging out in the beautiful Finger Lakes. Oh, how nice. That sounds so good. Can you see me and hear me? Am I pretty good today? There's like a weird ray of light coming in here. Let's see what I can do about that. At least it's not a sound thing. I can always just move aside. Hey, Linda. Can you all hear me? Hi from Canada. Don't forget to smash that like button. Thank you for reminding me that. I completely forget. Morning. Good. Thanks, Linda. You can hear me. Thanks, Penny. I always forget to say smash that like button. I hear that a lot in the background with the YouTube videos that my kids watch. This is so distracting. I put lipstick on because Jocelyn forced me to, and I feel like a clown because I'm not used to having it. So I'm not going to be able to look in this immediate area here. Good morning, everybody. Loud and clear, Chris. Great. Now listen, hey, Joelle, before I forget, somebody put a note, and I didn't see it because I was switching between pairs of glasses yesterday, about an Indian restaurant somewhere near me in Connecticut. I feel like it was Waterbury or Watertown. If you could put that in again and you're there, I need to know that. Hey, Annie from Ottawa. Hey, Sheila. I'm glad. Okay, so it seems like everything's going well. I'm all set up here today. Got my crazy lipstick on, look like a clown. Got my shirt on. I love wearing these shirts. They're super comfortable. Hey, Julie from Minnesota. That's one of those places I keep wanting to go, and I haven't gone yet. From Plymouth, Connecticut. Now, where is Plymouth, Connecticut? I ought to know that, right? That's a funny one. I mean, I probably do know that, don't I? I'll have to look that up as soon as I'm off this call. That's interesting. You must be quite near me, Karen. Well, good to see everybody online. Good morning. It is so autumny and crisp these days. I'm just loving it. It's so nice to see everybody logging on. It's so good to feel connected, isn't it? I mean, I've been so disconnected for so long with the way things are in 2020, and now with the kids homeschooling, it's so easy to get disconnected from other people. It's so strange. I love doing this, and even the kids are doing their schooling on Zoom. Speaking of which, remember how I had Jocelyn on yesterday, and I said they have Mondays off, and it was a day off for her. It actually wasn't. They're supposed to be in school 5 days a week on the Zoom. I completely misunderstood a message I got saying that the kids would be attending 4 days a week. They meant the kids who were going with their masks on in person, and we're not. So we already got like I can't say demerit, but I mean, we were just sitting here missing school yesterday. Oops. But you know what? I'm just at the point, I don't really care. We are so disconnected that I really don't care. I have to show one of her things that she wanted me to show yesterday, and I forgot. She's busy doing her work right now, catching up, so we don't get in trouble. This is one of her things from last year. I don't know if you're on my Facebook page, the Rug Hooking and Punch Needle Club, but she did this last year. And I have to say, we're getting ready for her birthday and having a big sale on the Ribbon Candy Hooking page to celebrate her birthday. It's so hard to figure out how to celebrate her birthday this year because she's 6, so she's turning 7. And in all the, thanks, I love that too. She drew this. She draws all of her crazy stuff. So she drew this when she was like 5. But we always used to have like a giant carnival in the backyard and invite the entire neighborhood. And Jay and I would work on building like dozens of old time carnival things. Like we built a little bowling alley. We have about 5 or 7 different throwing things with a Halloween theme for fall. And I would set up a different vignette every year with like rustic ladders and quilts hanging behind an old steamer trunk so the kids could sit on there. And I'd put like all kinds of fake flowers in front. And for the last couple of years, we've hit like 100 in the neighborhood party, which is ironic because we've actually never been invited to a party, maybe one since we've been living where we are. But people come to our parties, and of course we can't do that this year. So we're boosting up her little page. I'll be putting this one on. And I have to say, for a 6-year-old, I hooked the black circle, but she hooked everything else. I mean, she's not bad for a 6-year-old. She makes me laugh. She keeps, if you're local and you can help me out with this, it would be great. She keeps saying that she wants to do pottery on her birthday. So I tried to kind of fob her off by saying, oh, you mean ceramics, like going to a ceramics studio to paint. And she keeps really digging in and saying, no, I don't mean painting pottery. I mean like making pottery on a wheel. right? And we have not been like watching Ghost or anything, but she's aware of making pottery, and I don't know how. Probably crazy YouTube videos and stuff. That wouldn't be a crazy one. That would be a useful one. But I don't know where a child can go do pottery stuff. I've searched everywhere. I would drive anywhere at this point within like 3 or 4 hours to get her a pottery wheel, because if it turns out that this is the very thing for her, I was hoping it would be rug hooking, but if it turns out that pottery is her thing, I want to give that to her early rather than later. So if anybody can help with that, let me know. Hi from Vermont. Hi, Nancy. We got to be heading up there in the next weekend or so. I've got to head back up to Vermont. Anything going on with the colors yet? I'll wait and see if you answer. I'm dying. Do clay pottery in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Well, you know how I love to go to Pawtucket, Rhode Island, or any part of Rhode Island. That's a really good one. Thank you so much. I'll definitely check that one out. And that's a good segue to one of the things I want to talk about today. Thanks, Ellen. So I don't know if you, I know not everybody's into Facebook, and I completely understand why, but on my Facebook page, 2 times in the last like month and a half, I've posted 2 rugs, like 2 and 2, because when I was in Warren, Rhode Island, I found these 2 beautiful rugs at a thrifty store, and they were $20 each. I'll show them to you now. So obviously I had to buy them. They're in rough shape, but I can restore them. This is the first one. I mean, look at that. Look at all those great colors. It makes you think about suiting, right? Somebody not wearing suiting anymore. And then you got a few brights. So that was that one. And then this one came from the first store. They were like out on the sidewalk. And I was worried about them because this kind of stuff is going on, but totally different colors. And look at how many multis are in there. So for 20 each, obviously I took both of these, and then some more junk I didn't need from inside the store that was actually great. Colors are getting started. Peak is okay. Oh, good. The colors are getting started, and I'm going to have to take some drives, because why not with these open schedules? Fall foliage starting in Vermont, which is like the place, right? When I think of all the years I took my tour buses up there once a week through New Hampshire and Vermont, it was so good. And now we seem to miss it every year with school. Not this year. Things are opening up. So I got these 2 rugs for 20 each in Rhode Island. And then when I was on the Cape a couple weeks ago, I found 2 more rugs of the same pattern. And I posted those, but let me show you in case you didn't see on Facebook. Again, they've got to be these 2 the same maker. Those 2 look like the same maker. These 2 look like the same maker. So I picked both of these up. There are some little stains, and I really don't know how to deal with it. I'm still a beginner too. I haven't cleaned rugs yet, but you can see that blue patch. I know I read about people using snow and all that stuff to clean. Haven't tried it yet because my rugs haven't gotten dirty yet. Knock on wood, thank God. But I don't know what to do about these stains. I might just let it blow, you know. And then this is the second one I got on Cape. So I got 2 in Rhode Island and 2 on Cape. And I posted all over about this because I thought, wow. Okay, so there we go. So Chris says, this is the Cushing broken glass pattern. And I looked at the Cushing broken glass pattern, and it didn't look exactly right. Now, you may be right. I only looked at it online because Cushing does all these old patterns. But you know what came up last night on Rug Hooking Buy and Sell? If you're on that Facebook page, thank God my friend Jane Switzer bought it, because that means I can travel to her place in California as soon as it's okay to go on an airplane and trace it out and get it too. This was posted on Rug Hooking Buy and Sell, and Jane bought it. So at least it's not gone forever. This is backwards. But I think that this is the pattern. I mean, it looks a little like broken glass, but they look more like this to me. Maybe not, because I've heard broken glass so many times. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. It won't be the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last time. But it looks more like that to me. And I got so excited because, do you know why, Ellen? This is what the tag says, because I didn't know anything about this pattern. This pattern is called Jigsaw. So that it might be broken glass, but this pattern is called Jigsaw, and it has just been started in this picture. So it says vintage jigsaw pattern from the famous Heirloom Rug Company of Rhode Island. Now, I feel super ashamed because I grew up in Rhode Island. Of course, I wasn't rug hooking when I was a baby or even a teenager, sadly, but I have never heard of the Heirloom Rug Company, and they were from Rhode Island. So I feel a massive attack of research coming on here, and it measures 24 by 36 on burlap. If anybody knows anything about, okay, so this is a cleaning tip. cold water wash them in the bathtub, then throw the in washing machine, spin out extra water. You think, Susan, even for like really old ones that are like pooping themselves a little bit, like I'm afraid to put this through the washing machine. I might just have to do the same technique, but just hand and lay it out on a sunny day. But yeah, Chris, I don't know. I'm so torn now. If anybody knows anything about, oh, another tip about pottery, Plainville, Connecticut, wheel throwing. Thank you, Karen. I'll call and see if they will accept a 6-year-old or if I have to lie about it. Because we got to get in there one way or the other, or else we just have to break in. And wouldn't that be crazy to break into a pottery place for Jocelyn's 7th birthday? I mean, I'm not even sure the police would be that upset about that. We're not going to do it, but that would be a memorable birthday gift instead of a carnival. Anyway, if anybody knows anything about this Rhode Island heirloom rug company of Rhode Island, please let me know, because you know I'm crazy about Rhode Island. I'm chasing Molly Nye Toby, the artist that was from Barrington, Rhode Island. The Rhode Island group separated from ATHA. They're no longer an official ATHA group. They're called the Little Rhodey Thrummers. And I've attended that group a couple of times before everything got shut down. And they were such lively, cool people, typical Rhode Islanders, so effusively fun, friendly, irreverent, silly, so nice. But I would love to learn more about this company because they were in Rhode Island. And I'd love to get my hands on that pattern. Now, I'm going to show you something really that you've seen 1,000 times, and I have yet to take this out of the box and use it. Have you all seen these? I think I have about 5 of them that I picked up at antique stores just because I rug hook, and I have never used them. This is called Ye Susan Burr Hooked Rug Machine, and they're trying very hard to make this look like colonial packaging, but why not? It's better than the plastic stuff you normally get. My question to you is, who has dared to use this, and have you hurt yourself horribly with it? There are instructions, but you know me, I don't read even one page of instructions. I suppose I could. Oh my God, look what I just found in the bottom of the box. Look at that. That's the best part of that little box. Somebody drew that. Look at the shading that went into that. How crazy. I guess that was a design someone was working on. Maybe that's a sign from the universe that this thing actually does work. Let me know if you've used this. Hey, Haley from Loop by Loop Studio may know. Oh, that's true. She's on Etsy. She's a friend of mine. I should ask her, right? About the pottery. Oh, about the Rhode Island company too. Yeah, I was just over there visiting her not that long ago, and I got to get back over there. She's awesome. Loop by Loop Studio in Rhode Island. She's in Warren, Rhode Island. Is awesome. She does a lot of good beginner kits. Her kits come with hooks. She's the niece of Dion Fitzpatrick, and her mother is also a great hooker. So she's a great person to check out too. Check out Loop by Loop Studio. Her store is amazing, and she's on Etsy a lot too. So see what you can do helping me out with that. I'm so curious about those 2 things. Now I've been going to work like crazy on my Stop Me Before I Kill Again 3rd sugar skull pumpkin. I swear I'm going to stop it. I've been fulfilling orders like crazy, and I'm teaching 2 classes today, but I cannot stop making these sugar pumpkins. I wake up at like 5:30 and I sugar pumpkin it while I look at, when I listen to book cassettes on Hoopla. It's an app you can get on your phone through your library if they have it. You can listen to like unlimited amounts of stories while you hook. So I got going on the Kiss of the Spider Pumpkin this morning. And what we did yesterday when I left you was, because we thought there was no school, it's not funny, we went over to Joanne's and we started recording the middle of a video for when we do these sugar pumpkin heads and put them on the little spindle stand. I went and I got a bunch of these so I can do a video and make a prototype, a bunch of these florist squares to stick the thing in with the hooked pumpkin over it. These are all Desert Foam brand at Joann's, and this whole thing was $5. If you buy them each, they're $3. So 1 for $3 or 6 for $5. So that was a no-brainer. That wasn't even fooling around with the nonsense of the coupons, right? Because I don't even play that game anymore. I just go to the counter and I just say, is there any coupons? And if they say, oh, you need the coupon, I say, just forget it. Just check me out. I can't. But it was remarkable, as always, how expensive stuff is in these stores. So I got a bunch of fake flowers to stab into, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to spring up in a minute and get the other thing I have to show you, to stab into the foam block once we get the pumpkin head on there. I got these guys. I thought they were so neat. And I made a video. I'll post that when we get the sugar skull up. they're doing a lot of flowers now with multicolored dyes, like a little bit of blue, a little bit of pink. Some of these are $10 each. So even when they play their game and it's 40% off, you still have to remember it's $6, $6, $6. This came out to like $55 for this and the blocks. And Jocelyn found a few of these that I'm going to stick in the bottom of the display. These little velvet ones were $1.99, 40% off. So then I started to have this thought. Now, bear with me for 1 second because what I need is right there. The thought was, why do I have to play this game with Joann's and search for flowers there when they don't even have the colors I want? And I started for this particular project, right? So this is an offshoot of rug hooking because I'm talking about getting my sugar pumpkins into stands and putting like a little bit of a Frida Kahlo display of fake flowers under them, which I think will be super Day of the Dead, but also festive in a non-skull way. So, Elizabeth, are you headed to Rhode Island today for 3 days? I'm going to send you a list of must-see places. There's so many. You need to be there for like 3 years, but it'll be a really good start. I'm going to show you what I worked on last night because I felt super challenged by the color choices, even though they were all fall and great. I was super challenged because they didn't have a lot of the pastel-y colors that I wanted, bright candy colors, but still not like mustard, gold, or orange. So let me just hop over here. I decided to buy a bunch of white flowers and see how they dyed. And I did a video on this last night, so I'll post it soon when I finish my sugar skulls, when I finish hooking them. And I made these last night. So they didn't come out like Frida Kahlo bright, like Kay Facet bright, but you know what? Hey, Beverly. Hey, from Washington. They're okay for me, you know. And again, I did a little video on this. It's like a 15-minute video on dyeing these. I just dyed them with my regular wool dyes, not knowing what the material is since the tag said nothing on the subject of content. But, you know, I did some that were kind of like purpley black for Halloween, some coral ones, some blue with ombre purple. Yeah, I mean, I just thought they were really cute for around the base of the pumpkins. Now I've got 3 pumpkins to consider, so I did different color schemes. So I would say that this worked. If you're going to do this project with me, probably next week when I get these skulls done, and you have the time and you have the interest, it's not a bad idea to stick a bunch of plain white flowers on a cookie sheet designated just for dyeing. And you'll see from the video, I just really just sprayed color on them with those squirt bottles from the dollar store or Amazon, and it worked out great. So getting close on time. I wanted to show you one other thing today. Hey, Olivia, you made it. You can always watch these videos back too. I wanted to show you one more thing. This is like been a stay up late, obsessive bedtime thing for me. I found my new favorite book. And I usually do book reviews, but I thought, let me just show this to you quickly because I was up till like a crazy hour. You probably have seen this because this is not a new book. It came out in, let me tell you the year, I think it was 95 or 98. 95. Backwards. Victorian Cottage Rugs by Pat Hornathius. That's hard. I always get these hard ones. This is my favorite rug hooking book right now, and I'm going to show you why. There is so much going on in this book. It's such a friendly book to read. She talks about dating Victorian rugs for if you're antique shopping or whatever. It's actually a pattern book, but there is so much history in here which appeals to me and might appeal to you. Dyeing with Kool-Aid, that's something I have yet to do a video on. Doing the mason jar dyeing, if you belong to the woolly mason jar, they do like steaming jars within pots, that kind of dyeing. I don't typically do that, but it's a cool thing to learn just quickly in a nutshell. And then this kind of dyeing that I do in the casserole dishes where you're pouring water in strips like sideways across your folds, like accordion, but going crossways. But the main thing about this book is it's loaded with great history. So in every chapter, she shows you a rug that she's done. So in this chapter, it's this one. It says Home Sweet Home. And, you know, you've seen this rug, you know this rug, maybe it's not that interesting, but then listen to what she writes because I'm paraphrasing here. Again, this is her book and her writing. I'm just highlighting parts of it so that you might become interested in it because it's worthwhile. So she's showing us the cornucopia design, and then she gives you the background to why you have seen so many of this kind of rug with a motto, like a Victorian motto on it. And she gives you the history in 2 paragraphs. In the wake of the Civil War, the political slogan, peace and plenty, reflected the desire for personal comfort after the devastation of war. Boom. And then she goes on to say the cornucopia, an ancient symbol of bountiful harvest, spilling out its fruits and flowers, became also inside an urn, became a popular sign of abundance. So that answers that question right there. And then she goes on to talk about how the Victorians loved stuff and collections and ornamentation, and how handcrafts like rug hooking were so popular then because in one paragraph, she touches on the fact that there was like all new industries there, oil, railroads, coal. People were becoming very wealthy, but life was going on off your property. You were probably going to work if you were a man outside of the house at this point, because we were setting up in the US as well as in England a little bit earlier, urban centers that were not farms, that were not at your house. And for that reason, men were going off to work. They were making a bit more money with all of these new industries, and the women had the leisure time to sit home and do handcrafts like rug hooking. But she talks a little bit about that idea throughout the book, about women being freed from drudgery and to be able to apply these handcrafts, and how special it was to have things in your house that you made, because it was also a way of showing or signifying that your partner was doing, your husband, of course, was doing well enough that he was a great, strong breadwinner and you had leisure time. So just knowing these things when you're looking at books and looking at designs. This is another great design in this book, the beehive, which is so popular now with the theme of keeping the bees safe and alive and in good numbers. She surrounds it with all these flowers. And then she does a segment called Victorian Gardens. And I'm paraphrasing again, but she's saying that in the Victorian period, no home was complete without a beautiful garden outside and the house sitting in the center of it. So people would have kitchen gardens with like herbs and spices, flower beds, sundials, trellises, bee skeps. That thing is a bee skep, that woven thing made of like dried grass. That's called the bee skep, S-K-E-P. So they would have all these things set up in the yard. And it is around this time, during this repressed age, the Victorian period, people are very sort of socially and emotionally repressed. Of course, coming, from England, and people coming from England, and that whole European dynamic of there being so many wars at that time, people are feeling a little bit interior. But she's talking about how with flowers and gardens, the language of flowers. Oh, you've hooked some of these, Ellen. They are great designs. I'm going to show you how great some of these are. But she's talking about how during this period when gardens are so popular, people used to use the language of flowers, right? If you've heard of this, I'm sure you have. The language of fans earlier, the language of flowers. So she says, for example, red roses announce true love in a passionate way. Dogwood suggests durability. Pansy declared thoughts like thinking of you. Trumpet flower, fame. Zinnias meant thinking of you again or thoughts of you. Petunias meant never despair. And of course, the red poppy now signifies consolation, and did then too. So they were actually using these flowers, keeping an eye on the time, to speak to each other in a language that we really don't know anymore. But she's got a pattern of a Victorian birdhouse. She's got patterns like this, welcome friends, like traditional Victorian welcome mats, and talks about how important friendships were in the Victorian period, and letter writing, things like that. Look at this one. This one's called Tussie Mussy and Candy Stripes. I just love this pattern. The candy stripes are in the border. She's got a striped border around here, and these are all in color in the center of the book. If you're wondering, a Tussie Mussy is that pin thing that people used to wear, like a little comb with flowers hanging out of it. And again, you could use that language of flowers to signify friendship or passion. If you were meeting somebody, your little Tussie Mussy could show whatever the flavor of the day was. And then this is my favorite chapter. She has this long thing. Annie, I'm sorry. Thanks, Annie. She has this long thing about Victorian sea motifs. And I'm sure you already can picture like all the shell art and sailors' valentines that came out of this period. But she's talking about how ladies were interested in the sea. If you could be near it, you were near it. And they would have to don their proper attire for their sea rambles, that they would dictate in a magazine what you were supposed to have on as far as clothing, boots, gloves, hats, hitching up your skirts and stuff so that you could go collecting sea mosses and ferns and be wading around ponds and pools and the ocean shore. But this was a really big occupation for women. And women especially were huge beach combers and brought home things that they found, whether they were seashells or seaweed, and they would dye them like we dye our wool, and then press them like a blotter in the pages of a book. And Queen Victoria was very famous for giving all of her closest friends, very famous for a lot of things, but giving all her closest friends sea scrapbooks as gifts, where she had collected all these things and put them in. Now, rug hookers were not left out from this scene. This was a huge trend that we didn't experience in our lifetimes. We enjoy the beach, but this is something else. But rug hookers from that time were also interested in depicting exotic shells and included a lot of corals and shells in their handmade designs. So this is the design made by the author of this book. But my point is that this book is so good for lots of animals in here too, showing you why these patterns historically have been important patterns for rug hookers and why we see the same things over and over again. It's not because people don't have great imaginations. It's because these motifs were important at the time when rug hooking was taking off. And for that reason, a lot of people went for these motifs when they hooked. This last chapter, I think I have time to squeeze in, is called, she called it something so cute, Manly Pursuits. And she's got this rug, very Rousseau, evocative of Rousseau's tiger. So there you go. It's not my imagination, Rousseau's tiger. So she writes about in this chapter to counteract the influence of the female influence, of the home influence, your home being like a church, like a sacred place, and the woman being responsible for making it that way. To counterbalance that, men were somehow through media and just culture being urged to be manly, to sort of offset the extreme feminism of the lifestyle, of the culture of the home. So Henry Rousseau's art is known for this, showing like the romance of the jungle. And this is the era of taxidermy and stuffed heads and skin rugs and all of these things that would have displayed or demonstrated masculine pastimes while women were doing their pastimes, like dyeing shells and rug hooking. So it's just interesting. Again, she designs a bunch of rugs at the end, like Rousseau's tiger, but then she's got the mallard ducks, and she's got them real dark there. But then on the next page, she's got the same composition, really light with polka dots behind, almost like a Mary Engelbreit style. So she shows a horse rug. She shows a bunch of rugs at the end that are like manly rugs. And again, this book is this is a great read. And in every chapter, she shows you the recipe, huge detail for the exact colors that she's used. I'm seeing if I can find the center bit because you can actually see the rugs in color. I keep scrolling past it. No, it's not happening. Oh yeah, here it is. So there's the bee skep in the Home Sweet Home with the cornucopias. Doesn't it make you want to do some of these rugs? The birdhouse, she did a great chapter on Victorian birdhouses and how in Gothic Victorian architecture, because of new technology, they were able to bend wood and use it in building. So like the gingerbread house became really popular as an architectural style. So she's got this beautiful birdhouse rug. She's got the welcome rug, the Tussie Mussy, the cats. These are all of her things in color. And she gives you the exact, there's the C one. She gives you the exact dye recipe. And then, as if that wasn't enough, at the end, she does hemming your rug, which essentially is finishing your rug with different styles of binding. And then the very end is what we touched on earlier, and I just got some help with, caring for your hand-hooked rugs. So, I mean, this is specifically Victorian rugs. I better sign off in a minute, but it's such a good book. If you're interested in history, if you're interested in rug hooking, if you're interested in old motifs, why they're so popular, why you see the same motifs again and again, this is definitely the book, #1 book that you want. So anyway, I had 20 more things to talk about today that I didn't get to, but leave me your comments on everything. The Rhode Island company, I'll talk to Haley. Let me know if you've tried this or if this is just going up on the mantle as part of a vignette. Loved seeing you all. You like the lipstick. I feel like such a clown. I feel like an Estee Lauder clown right now. It doesn't seem to come off. It seems to be permanent too, because I put it on a long time ago, like first thing this morning, and I've eaten 6 times since then. Still there. I saw something online about needing a subscription to watch your videos. No, you don't need a subscription at all. Not at all. No, we put up a what's it called? I didn't do it, so I don't know it. Patreon site. everybody that's like me that spends half of the day doing videos on YouTube and stuff puts up I forgot it already. There we go. Patreon links. So we put up a Patreon link this morning. You never have to pay to watch my videos. They're on YouTube, but it's for people who want to sponsor the Ribbon Candy Hooking brand and help me out that way, because unless I'm selling something, I'm not making money. I'm just spending a lot of time working on stuff. So it's for people who can and want to help with as little as like $5 a month. You can get a subscription. You get free things for the different tiers of membership. It's not for everybody. I hate selling. I haven't even looked at the link yet, but it was made for me, and I appreciate it, and I'll check it out later. But no, you don't need a subscription to watch. You can always watch here. And once we hit 1,000, like, subscribe, smash that whatever button to show that you're watching this video. Once we hit 1,000 viewers, I will be able to record these videos on my phone rather than on a laptop, which is going to be a game changer for coffee time, because it means I can go to Haley in Rhode Island and record on my phone us hanging out or looking at something or finding something or making something, or I can go to the beach and do one at the beach. But it'll be great when we hit 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel, because it will give me a lot more flexibility with being able to do videos in different places. And then that opens up the scope a lot more than this format. Although I love it. Love seeing all of you. Have a great day. I've got to get ready to teach a class at 1. Have a wonderful day. Thanks, Chrissy. I loved being at Loop by Loop. Check out Haley's Loop by Loop site too. It's amazing. Great patterns. Check out that book. See you all tomorrow. Have a great day. Don't spend too much money at Joann's or Michael's, because I spent it all. I spent it for all of us. So maybe just stay home and work on some hooking. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.